to order. I would like to welcome the media and visitors. I'd also like to remind everyone to silence your cell phones and other electronic devices so we may conduct the people's business without interruption. Commissioner Ray Davis, if you're here tonight, will you give the invocation and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
May we pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for our country, the United States of America. We pray for your blessings on our country, our state, and our county, mainly the communities and the neighborhoods that make up our county. We pray for the safety and patience on our roads as our farmers move their equipment for harvesting their crop. We pray for our meeting tonight, that we as elected officials may make the right decisions. That's what's best for the citizens of our county. But most of all, we pray for your forgiveness for our many sins that we have committed. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Mincy White, will you call the roll of the commissioners, please?
I, Venus Mincy White, present as Clerk of the Board of Commissioners of Bulloch County, hereby call the roll for those on the governing body. All those present shall answer by saying aye. Chairman David Bennett.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Toby Connor.
Aye.
Commissioner Ray Mosley.
Aye.
Commissioner Anthony Simmons. Commissioner Nick Newkirk.
Aye.
Commissioner Timmy Rushing.
Aye.
And Commissioner Ray Davis.
Aye.
I have determined that we have 6 members of the Board of Commissioners present. Therefore, we have a quorum to conduct business for the good of the citizens of Bulloch County. I now yield the floor back to you, Chairman.
Thank you. I'm going to go off the reservation here for just a minute. Just take a moment to introduce our new county manager, Mr. Chris Eldridge, to the audience tonight. Mr. Eldridge, do you have anything that you'd like to say? I'm completely putting him on the spot with this. So.
No, just happy to be here and enjoying getting to know Bulloch County and hope to get to know everyone better. But I've already made the rounds to several of the departments and looking forward to doing the bidding of the commission.
So this is day 2 for him, and I can tell you when I pulled up this morning, I was tickled pink to see that his truck was actually here. And we'll see if he actually comes back tomorrow after tonight. So next thing we're going to do is give a brief presentation here on a proclamation, and I'm going to ask Ms. Tammy Kicklighter and Mr. Corbett Deloach from Safe Haven to come up to the front. Go ahead, it's all you.
On behalf of the entire Safe Haven team and Board of Directors, I'd like to thank you for inviting us here today to recognize October officially as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Your support is a powerful reminder of strength and compassion within our county. At Safe Haven, our mission is to serve, strengthen, and support individuals impacted by domestic violence. In 2024, that mission was translated into a real impact. We provided support to 699 individuals, answered 5,062 crisis line calls, accompanied survivors to 164 court hearings, and offered shelter for 4,784 nights of safety. We also cared for 32 pets, provided 14,352 meals, and ensured 130 individuals received emergency medical, dental care, and cell phones when they needed it most. Our nonprofit organization here in this county is very crucial. Domestic violence is here, it's in surrounding counties, it's throughout this state and throughout this country. And we're so fortunate to be able to have a domestic violence shelter here in Bulloch County. we're able to help people that get in situations that, they didn't ask to be in these situations. We get them back on their feet, get them back into workplace and their families back together. And it's very crucial that we keep the, shelter going here in Bulloch County. And I'd just like to thank everybody that supports us at Safe Haven.
One question, where do y'all get your funding from?
Our funding is grant funding, okay? To be frank with you, our grants come from state and federal. The white collar crime and blue collar crime that happens in our country doesn't go to the federal government or the state. It goes into a fund. And that fund, builds up to anywhere from $7, $8, $10 million, and it is distributed through nonprofit organizations throughout the country. So that's how we're pretty much funded and operate each day. It costs us about $2,000 a day to run this shelter. That's paying the bills and feeding everybody and supplying the needs of our victims.
But that funding that you get from those grants doesn't cover everything, and Ms. Kicklighter hit the nail on the head.
Donations.
Okay, they'll always take a donation.
That's right.
So, okay, so just like you said, domestic violence is here in our county. And it is one of those things that we know that directly impacts our population. The people that are affected by domestic violence, whether it be children, spouses, family members, they're all affected by it. And it hurts them, it stunts their growth as far as intellectually and emotionally. And it's something that we know that children that grow up in a home with domestic violence are more prone to be victims again later in life. So we want to help break that chain. That's why we're here today, to have you guys up here to talk about it and expose it to the public so they know what's going on. So I'm going to present you guys with this certificate of proclamation. And then I'm going to read, y'all stand there and try to look pretty. And I'm going to read the summary here. It says, now therefore be it resolved that in recognition of the important work done by domestic violence programs in cooperation with Safe Haven, we, the Bulloch County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We urge all citizens, agencies, and businesses to work together as a team in our community through prevention, intervention, and education programs to eliminate domestic violence and become a violence-free community. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and caused the official seal of Bulloch County Board of Commissioners to be affixed the 7th day of October 2025. So, thank y'all.
I'd like to introduce one of my board members and the executive director, and
So y'all come over this way. There you go. Right there.
Boy, you don't. Hey, I done got some pictures recorded, but I don't wanna see them.
Are they booking photos?
pipe it down, right?
All right. Trying to see everybody. You see phone, I can see you, okay?
You got the flash on already.
Yeah, yeah. There we go.
Hey, man, you can.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so before I entertain a motion to approve the zoning agenda, do we have any discussion or modification desired by the county manager or the board? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor? And the motion carries unanimously. Mr. James Pope, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our first agenda item tonight is a conditional use request, which was made by Mr. Gregory Sykes. And the request is for the location of a 190-foot tower, which communications tower or cell tower, which would house communications equipment or antenna. The property is located on Pless Clifton Road. Staff recommends approval of the conditional use request with conditions. And then Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval as well. We did have a third party, our independent tower review company, did review the application, and through that process is primarily really where the conditions came from. But with that, we'll get to the location. You'll see on the eastern side of Bulloch County, near Old River Road, again, general area on Pless Clifton Road, the small square located in the home parcel there, that would be the location of the tower. And again, the actual site takes up a fairly small area. This is a before photo, and as part of our requirements, we asked for photo simulations of the tower. Well, actually, this is the photo simulation. You see the tower in the to the left of the power pole there. So the rural area with no historical resources historical sites were found. So, going through all those channels, we recommend approval. The location is, in rural Bulloch County, and the view shed of the tower is of little concern, which with towers, that is often the main concern is for the, what is it going to look like to surrounding properties. But so with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Ivy. Is that right? Yeah. The agent for the applicant, Mr. Ivy.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Ivy Cadle. I represent the applicant. This one is really pretty straightforward. It's a 195-foot monopole. So that's one of our least intrusive designs. It's just a galvanized pole. It has 4 antenna positions on it. So in addition to Verizon, who have told me they have this on their 2025 build plan, in other words, it's October, and they intend to build it soon. It has a 3-foot lightning rod on it. It's under 200 feet, so the FAA doesn't require it to be lit, et cetera. We've been vetted by staff. We've been vetted by zoning. They've all recommended approval. We've met the conditions that are set forth on the second page here of the Bulloch County departmental review memo that they submitted, and I thought their nearly 20-page memo was very helpful. I don't want to belabor it, and I'm sure y'all all got it and read it, and I'm happy to answer questions if you have any.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Mr. Chairman, if it be time, I would like to recuse myself from this topic.
And I'll just go ahead and add to the record that I do have a letter here from Mr.
The beloved.
Thank you. Mr. Connor. Feel like I'm having a stroke up here.
Please don't.
Asking to recuse himself because of financial interest in this property.
Okay.
Is there anybody, there's nobody signed up to speak in opposition to this. So any questions from the board? Okay, hearing no discussion, I'm going to call for a motion on this item.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept this conditional use.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. That was probably the easiest zoning item I've seen since I've taken office. And then I believe your second one was withdrawn, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Agenda item 2, which I missed on the approval of the agenda, but anyways, agenda item 2 was withdrawn, I believe yesterday. So it was withdrawn without prejudice, so they can come back at some point down the road and go back through the process if they so choose. But as for that case, it is withdrawn. Now, for agenda item number 3, I think for the benefit of everyone, I'll just present from the podium. It's a
That's fine.
staff text amendment.
Before we get started with this, I have 2 folks that signed up to speak for item number 2.
Well, I think it's moot since it was withdrawn.
Okay,
Yeah.
just wanted to clarify there. Go ahead, James.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Tonight, as the Planning and Development Director for Bulloch County, I have I'm presenting to you a text amendment to the Bulloch County Code of Ordinances Appendix C, which is our zoning ordinance. Some of the modifications would include definitions, a change to the commercial and industrial principal use chart to include microbrewery and brew pub, a change in the supplemental standards for accessory dwellings, a change in the supplemental standard for church or place of worship, a home occupation residential definition, and a change to planned residential developments with single-family and for two-family dwellings, which would include mixed-use residential developments. We do have a use regarding go-kart and ATV use, microbrewery and brew pub supplemental standards, and an additional supplemental standard, which would be a new standard for conservation subdivisions. Now, I'll start off by saying that I would like to, and if it's for the board to decide, but at Planning and Zoning, initially introduced a subdivision regulation text amendment and zoning text amendment. I initially asked that board to just let me go through it first in the first meeting, and then defer it to the next meeting for a vote so that, one, the commission could, there's a lot of text in here. I don't want you to feel like you got to make a decision overnight. But two, feedback that I get here tonight and what I've had at Planning and Zoning has been beneficial. And so last month, we advanced the subdivision text amendment. That passed, and we've worked through the zoning text amendment. I believe it was passed through Planning and Zoning on the third meeting. And we had several changes, and to be quite frank with you, there's no rush to pass any of this. It's just something that I feel like is uses that are out in other communities that are beneficial. And, I think there's been some indication by the board for this type of subdivision regulation for conservation subdivision. So with that being said, I think Mr. Akins and I have discussed a little bit. There's probably some definitions that we would like to go back in and kind of narrow the scope a little bit, but I can get into that as we go through. And I apologize in advance. I sometimes just continue to talk, but I have here on the PowerPoint really just the high-level points, and y'all can stop me at any point that you want to. And Mr. Eldridge is looking like he's, why did he come here? But anyway, so the first thing, how to define multifamily dwellings in just a little more, as far as administration and when they ask multifamily dwellings, up till now, we really haven't had a definition for townhouse except in the PUD zoning, so it's trying to define those uses a little clearer. The next item would be a go-kart, ATV, and motorbike track and trails. This is one I think that we would like to narrow the scope a little bit to where it's a little clearer on what it attempts to do. What does it attempt to do? It's at any point that you trade money for commercial gain. But as we said in the initial one here, individual landowner activity should be exempt from the definition. It's not to regulate someone from riding their ATV to go check their cows, as Mr. Davis said, or to go to a tree stand or whatever. That's in no way the intention of this. It's really just for at any time, let's say, I know some of the commissioners remember, there was a go-kart track in the county. That homeowner had that track built for his child. And it caused a lot of issue with the neighbors because it was so loud. But at no point in time did the county shut him down. He actually moved, I think, South Carolina. But it was an aggravation to the neighbors. But it was not commercial, so there was no, it was for his personal use. There was no advertisement of a race or anything like that. So there was probably a case for the noise violation. So had it continued on, the noise violation probably would have been pursued. I think the neighbor came up here and complained to y'all one time, played the video. But that, again, is individual landowner activity. That's not what this is about. This is really, if you're going to take payment for being able to ride on the trails or whatever, whether it be a go-kart, ATV, or motorbike. The next definitions would be microbrewery, brew pub, large brewery, tap rooms. That, I think, for this community, and I didn't know Statesboro was really looking at doing, adding some small distillery to their ordinance for microbreweries, but that ours does not include distilleries. It's just for breweries or for beer. But that's I don't know that it's a fad, but 10 years ago, it was a big economic driver, tourist benefit to your downtown or wherever. But here, as the community grows, it may, and to be honest with you, there's not been any interest expressed to me to have this. However, just looking for the future, and you hear in the community, I wish we had this, wish we had that. This would just kind of help pave the way to get that use into the community if y'all so chose. The next item would be a supplemental standard for go-kart, ATV, motorbike, track, and trails. So here you have 11 items that would apply to any go-kart, ATV, or motorbike track or trail, as I discussed previously. These are items that, when you look at, similarly regulated items across the United States, these are some things that are pointed out and some commonly, just trying to set parameters on these so that you don't have to come out and under a conditional use, which this would be, but, arguing conditions here and there. This would apply to all of these countywide. The next item would be just for uses that are accessory to churches. One being, just administratively, it would help that we include parsonage, as an accessory use for a church. Right now, it's not clearly defined. I understand that it's a common thing to have a pastor's house, at the church, but right now, it's not clearly defined. So that is the intent behind that. The next item would be accessory dwellings. Currently, probably a lot of people don't necessarily have not paid attention to it, but accessory dwellings, we have some standards that kind of, again, put some parameters on accessory dwellings, a pool house, mother-in-law suite, or whatever you want to call it. But in the building department, when someone comes in and it depends on how they have their plan turned in, but the accessory dwelling part, right now, it's only available in planned residential subdivision, so really a subdivision. But in Ag 5, if you want a pool house and you have plenty of area, we as staff feel like that's not a bad thing, and it's probably happening more than what anybody realizes, in that they'll build a storage building, get a permit for that, and then after we CO it, they'll go in there and finish it out themselves, and, then you have a living space, and typically no harm is done. But this would just open it up for those Ag 5, R80, R40, and R25 zones. Again, accessory dwellings, and that's tied, it's a scale of minimum and maximum, and it's tied to the primary structure size. So it cannot exceed 60% of the primary structure's size up to a maximum. So common, I'll say it's fairly common zoning use that I've seen in other communities. Home occupations for residential districts, the letter O there, that's really just trying to, again, clearly define what the type of delivery trucks and vehicles that can go to home occupation. And we have had instances where large trucks make home deliveries, and our road infrastructure has been damaged as a result of that, whereas, so, I think this would help in that regard. Our next item, in a lot of communities, call this the anti-monotony facade. This being a change in what we already have. We already tell developers you cannot have a subdivision and the homes you place in that subdivision, well, you can't place identical homes in a subdivision as a single-family residence. The cookie-cutter homes. Now, we're working our way out of that just through some past approvals and things like that, but the community is moving forward with some design feature changes on each house as they go through the subdivision, so it's not just cookie cutter 1, 2, 3. And this, for me, for Mr. Loach and I, would really kind of spell out what was intended by, those facade front elevations, how different they need to be, and so on. Up till now, it's just kind of been, we use our discretion. But number 2, the front facade, we have multiple options on a point system where a developer would need to have a minimum of 6 points off of this list. Some of the items are, I guess you could say, incentivized by having 2 points for that item, but a total of 6 points that meet certain architectural features of a home that, one, I feel like is reasonable, but it helps us administer the ordinance so that when we get a plan and it comes in, we can look at this list and, we don't have to go back and forth with a builder. They already have the list that we're looking at. This is again, I would say a fairly common list of items in a way to enhance the community and in the different design features. Next item, just exterior wall features, wall finishes. Foundation walls, that would be, having brick around all four sides of the home. We pretty much already require that, but this, again, goes to slab on grade construction, at least 18 inches above grade for the entire perimeter. That's the details that administering this has been kind of a nightmare. And I think it's well intended, as we did in 23 with our zoning amendment mass change. But we just need to come back and kind of spell it out a little more. Next item would be the, let's see, the microbrewery and brew pub. And again, this is why I really, y'all can maybe take the next week or two and kind of talk to other communities and see how this impacted them. I know ACCG and GMA have published articles about, different benefits of this or some, I guess, pitfalls to not fall in. But let's see. And then last, we have conservation subdivisions. So it's something that for the past, I think, 3 versions of our comprehensive plan, going back to 2009, when the county had a consultant perform that, create that comprehensive plan. One of the goals highlighted in every, or in most of the character areas, was adoption of a conservation subdivision. And I feel sure that most of you commissioners have heard this at ACCG or whatever, maybe zoning training that y'all have been to, but conservation subdivisions is really a way to take what you can develop by right in your zoning category, which Ag 5, you can have 1 house per 5 acres. And then, depending on the size of the parcel, you can then take the number of houses, and this outlines exactly how you do that. You come up with a plan based on certain factors, and you get a theoretical number of houses that you could develop. Now, you don't get really any credit for the wetlands. You can't develop that, but all those environmental factors, things like that, are here for consideration. You get that theoretical number. Let's say your number's 10. Well, instead of spreading out 10 houses over 50 acres, we can cluster the development into smaller lots. And then the remaining portion that you're saving, a developer can have less money in the infrastructure, cluster the development, and then for, I guess, perpetuity, the remaining portion of the property would be under a conservation easement, and you're not going to develop that property. It's off the board. And so you can have a trail, or you can have a few, well, it outlines what you could have in there, but you put like walking trails and whatever in there. But but it's tied to public sewer. So you really don't get the benefit of making the jump from an R25. That's as cluster as you can get on a septic tank, right? So you got to have that half acre with a community water system to get the septic tank to work. But with this, if it was on public sewer, you could make it into a smaller lot and then, again, have less infrastructure costs, less road to construct, less road to maintain. And from there, you get the smaller lots, but the trade-off is open space, and the property that you're saving is conserved. And there's an option that if they didn't want to keep it in HOA, and if the county thought that they wanted to accept it as a conservation, just like, the county has parks and whatever, you could do that in with this. So, it's not new. Again, it's probably 10, 15 years ago, this in zoning practice really came to popular practice. And, I think the county's been considering it for a while, and it's just been on that list of things to do that somehow I found time to kind of get it done. But if that's what y'all want to do. So again, it's my suggestion, but you're the legislative authority, so it's up to y'all. And I know that nobody can really see that, but those for the screen, you can see that as far as clustering of development, you got R25 that you commonly see on public sewer. You can, again, shrink those lots down, and there's the benefit there. So with that, I'll answer any questions you may have, and I apologize for taking so much time.
Questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to table this.
I think we gotta go through the public comment before we get to that point.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'll tell you what, let's just go to public comment, then I'll come back and I got a couple questions I'd like to ask.
Okay.
So,
We have Nathan Field. Okay, Justin Strickland.
So I will clarify that this is, in zoning like this, you have 10 minutes collectively. So if you want to get up here and talk for 10 minutes, that's fine.
If I run out of time, I'll ask somebody else, so we'll figure it out. I'll get him in there.
Oh, it's 10 minutes.
Oh, we can wing it.
Okay.
We can get there. My name is Justin Strickland. I'm here today on behalf of many families, riders, and supporters of Savage Trails. A 430-acre park that has proudly served as a safe, family-friendly space of recreation for community connection since 2021. Over the past 4 years, Savage Trails has operated without no major safety issues, no violations, no disruptions to the surrounding county. In fact, that's the opposite. It is true that we have become a place that brings people together, gives back to Bulloch County in countless ways. Between August 2024, August 2025, we had 15,736 visitors. That's almost 6,000 people come through our gate. That come to our county and spent money in our area. Not just at our place, that's gas stations, restaurants, motels. That is Bulloch County. Savage Trails is more than a recreational space. It's an active community partner. We supported local charities and fundraisers, contributed to organizations such as Feed the Burro, Shriners, the Eagle Nation Fund, and many more. We do trash cleanups of our area, going up and down the dirt road. We go through, when the hurricanes come, anything we can do to our community right there in our area, we do anything we can to help. Run equipment, do our part. Not simply asking to keep the park open, we're asking to preserve 430 acres of green land. This is where families gather. Young people can recreate safely. Our community can come together and grow and thrive together. On behalf of Savage Trails, I respectfully submit this request to be grandfathered in under the original regulations governing our operations. Savage Trails was lawfully established and begun operations in 2021, well before the ordinance amendments adopted in 2023. and the additional changes are under consideration today. Since our inception, we have fully complied with all applicable county regulations, requirements, and directives. We have maintained open communication and good faith with county officials and consistently taken all measures, actions, and ensure all continued lawful and responsible operation. Because Savage Trails was duly established and operated prior to the ordinance revisions, we believe it is both reasonable and equitable that our park be recognized and exempted from the new regulatory provisions enacted after our founding, consistent with the long-lasting principle of grandfathering, existing lawful uses in operation. We respectfully urge the Commission to position and formally acknowledge Savage Trails' right to continue operating under regulatory framework in effect of the time of our establishment of 2021. Let us keep the 430 acres green, keep our community connected, and preserve a place that has proven its value to Bulloch County. Thank you for your time, your service, and your consideration of this request. I also ask everyone that is here today that supports Savage Trails to please stand. Commissioners, we had a petition signed for our riding community. We had over 1,700 people sign this petition to try to get our park open. This place is family to some, and it's future family to people who come through the gate tomorrow. At the end of the day, there is no stranger that comes through that gate. It's just a new meeting. And with that, I'll turn it over. And that's all I have, and I appreciate your time today.
You still got 5 minutes on the clock, Mr. Field. You signed up to speak. Do you have anything? Okay. All right. So I believe that closes our,
Chairman Bennett, I signed up to speak.
we're not at that spot yet. Y'all
I
signed.
signed up for this. My name is Megan Snowbrook.
We have our own public comments here.
You were signed up for public comments, ma'am.
In general,
I apologize.
you can move up there, take off here, put on here.
Let's just wait and do it under public comments. So, James, I got a couple questions for you. Please. So if you can just, Dow, if you'll pull up that screen where it talks about the microbreweries real quick. So the only thing that I just want to add to this is it talks about a microbrewery and malt beverages. I know that a month or two ago, we had a gentleman that came in here that is running a meadery here in the county. And I think that we should go ahead and include that in this text amendment, just to make sure that we've covered the bases there. Because a meadery, as far as the state and federal and Department of Agriculture, they look at that as being a little bit different, so.
Okay. I'll
And then,
have to get with him, but we'll figure out where exactly to add it, but.
and then can you go to the ATV amendments, please? So I just want to clarify this right now. I've heard a lot of discussion in the community about we're trying to change Ag 5 to where people could not go on their own property and ride an ATV. Is there anything in this amendment that would prevent me, a member of this board, a member of this community, from riding an ATV for recreational purposes on their own property?
No.
Thank you.
Again, it's for intention is for commercial use, taking payment. Okay, whether it's membership or commercial, so.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion from the board?
I just got one. Now, I know we're not going to do it tonight, but whenever we implement these don't go back on existing businesses, right? They just start from new businesses that start after this amendment starts and move forward, right?
Are you specifically talking about Savage Trails?
Yes,
or you
sir.
don't?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, our position is that Savage Trails was never a legal business from its inception. They were required to get a conditional use to operate, and they did not do that. And so when it's an illegal use from its inception, you cannot get a grandfathered right or a vested right under Georgia law. It just doesn't ripen into a grandfathered vested right. So the only way they can continue, in our view, is to apply for and obtain a conditional use under the zoning ordinance. Now, if they applied for that before this was enacted, then their application would be considered under the current ordinance. But they're still required to get a conditional use under the current ordinance. But if they waited to apply until after this was adopted, then this would apply to them, yes.
Okay, appreciate it.
Any other questions or discussion on this item? So I'm going to ask for motion at this time.
Sorry, I'm setting my hands. Motion to, table this topic till the next night meeting.
Okay.
I reckon that's when we want it.
Yeah, so the next, and we don't have any zoning items for that meeting, so this would be the only one.
Okay. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Motion carries to table this to our next night meeting, which would be somebody help me out here with the calendar in front of them.
November 4th.
4 November 2025. Okay.
Okay.
Election day.
Thank y'all.
Okay, that concludes our zoning agenda for tonight. At this time, before I entertain a motion to approve the general agenda, do we have any discussion or modification desired by the county manager or the board? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a motion on the general agenda.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously to approve the general agenda. At this time, I'll recognize those citizens who have signed up to address the board. Once your name is called, come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and make your comments. All speakers who are recognized will be allotted 5 minutes.
We have Mr. Dean Butler.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Dink Butler, Public Works Director for Bulloch County. I'd like to ask a couple of individuals, Robert, Mitch, if you would step up here with me. We are a few of the individuals that were affected by the investigation, the activities that were involved in the investigation into our interactions with the rental trucking agreements or contractors of during the storm, FEMA decorated storm of 4821, Tropical Storm Debbie. The investigation was requested by D.A. Busby and conducted by the Georgia Bureau of Investigations based on concerns of inappropriate or illegal practices between Bulloch County, Public Works, and Sand Creek Construction, Clay Connor, and Duraso Trucking, Jay Duraso. For D.A. Busby referred the investigation results to be handled and reviewed by the Practicing Attorney Council of Georgia for any further actions or considerations. Mr. Chairman, per our conversation, I'm here this evening requesting the letter from the Practicing Attorneys Council of Georgia be read into public records.
Sure. August 20th, 2025, Special Agent Justin Jones, Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Reason, GBI case number 0500980825, Bulloch County Commission, Sand Creek Construction Investigation. Dear Special Agent Jones, the Prosecuting Attorney's Council has reviewed your investigative file in the above entitled case and discussed the case with you. The Prosecuting Attorney's Council has appointed the case to our office for disposition. Please see the attached appointment order. Based on our findings and our analysis of this case, there is no readily provable clinical intent and the case is declined. Thank you, Christopher A. George, State Prosecutor, Prosecuting Attorney's Council of Georgia. I'm going to follow that up with the press release that was sent out by the county on the 21st of August. Regarding the recent memo from the Prosecuting Attorney's Council of Georgia concerning the GBI investigation involving Bulloch County and Sand Creek. Back in the spring, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation requested records from our Public Works Department concerning our use of Sand Creek land construction on emergency products. We fully cooperated with the GBI throughout this process, though with limited information about the exact nature of the investigation. We were notified by one media outlet of the Prosecuting Attorney's Council memo indicating that the investigation has been closed and are thankful that the questions surrounding this matter have been put to rest. We have always stood by our dedicated Bulloch County employees and will continue to do so. Public Works Director Dink Butler, along with his entire team, worked tirelessly to recover our county from the storms of last year. Their exceptional hard work ensured that Bulloch County recovered faster than most other counties, enabling roads to be safely passable for both public safety, personnel, and residents. Their efforts have always been focused on the best interest of Bulloch County and its citizens, and they should be commended for their service and response during the back-to-back hurricanes last fall and the extensive recovery afterward. Throughout these challenging storm recovery efforts and in their daily operations, the Bulloch County Public Works Department has consistently followed established county policy and will continue to do so. Bulloch County will continue to do what we've always done, serve this community to make it one of the best places to live in Georgia. Signed, David Bennett, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Bennett and Commissioners, for the support that you give us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, before they leave, I'd like to say something, if I may.
Sure.
I don't know where it all stemmed from. I know there were some accusations that undoubtedly now are proven untrue by somebody or some people. I asked the sheriff to be here tonight because everybody hollers about us being not transparent. Well, when something like this goes on, the sheriff, I guess Marcus will be standing in his place back there, and the rest of the deputies. If it's ice, wind, water, or anything, the sheriff has a list of contractors long as his leg that goes out and their family stays out all night long, if it's weekends or whatever, with these gentlemen here. And I didn't ask him to use his name, but I'm going to because it's been publicized in the papers for over the years. And it's Mr. Ellis Wood and Woods Paving. I know hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, that man has given to Bulloch County and other surrounding counties for the same thing that brought this to everybody's attention, because Clay Connor and Jay Derso was hauling rocks for Dink Butler because they run out of rocks before they got through with the last storm. For some reason, that spun this out of control. I don't know how much money it cost the taxpayers of Bulloch County to be investigated by the GBI and a full team and by our DA that's done unfinanced now, chasing this tail. But I want to take a chance and this opportunity to apologize to y'all people and to every contractor. They not mentioned, I guess that's not transparent because they don't want the recognition. But I want to apologize to them because at this point in time, the next time Bulloch County has a storm and you got some of these contractors that don't show up because they don't want to be embarrassed and their family embarrassed about talking about stealing. Now, it costs more than just money, this little escapade, and I want to apologize if don't nobody else apologize. I want to apologize.
Thank you, Commissioner Rushing. Thank you, gentlemen.
Any other comments on this item? So with that being said, I hope that we can put this behind us. I've said again and again in a variety of settings that this county's got to move forward and quit living in the past. We need to move forward on this. Put this baby to bed and just go that way. We've got a new county manager now. We've got to start looking forward in what we do and quit focusing on things that have happened and they're done.
Alexis Waters.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Alexis Waters. I live in Monticello, Georgia, which is 3 hours from here. We came all the way up here today for Savage Trails. I'm not just speaking on behalf of myself, my husband, and my 10-year-old son, and a passionate community that is asking respectfully for y'all just to consider and understand what Savage Trails really is about. We all have a past. Everybody has things that they're not proud of. But at Savage Trails, it doesn't matter. We are all included. They don't care. Because it's not about them. It's not about money. It's not about any of that. They've obtained their business license. I mean, how do you get a business license if they're doing something illegal? It's been going on 4 years. I mean, Savage Trails might just look like a mud park, but to us, it's much more than that. It's a second home. When I have a 10-year-old, when we come to pick up trash a few weekends ago and not to ride, my 10-year-old son said, "Hey, Mom, I'm home." How do you tell a kid that, it doesn't matter, if you try to do everything right, it doesn't matter. How do you explain that? Because you can't. It's a place where families come together and friendships are formed, and where people of all ages have a safe space to ride. I've been to other mud parks. I've been to different states. My son has almost got ran over by vehicles on a trail. Savage Trails is a place that I have no worry. When you don't have to worry about your kids because everybody there is watching out for them. The kids eat free, everything. We don't just ride for the thrill. We ride for the connections, the late night bonfires, the cookouts, all the shared stories where everybody can come together and everybody's included. This park has given many of us something to look forward to in tough times. For some, it's helped them find purpose and belonging. And for others, it's kept them grounded and out of trouble. And I think we all can agree that when you have something that can keep you out of trouble, it's what this generation needs. Savage Trails has always made safety a priority. There's rules, there's structure, they have a strong sense of community accountability. We look out for each other, whether it's helping change a flat tire, guiding a new rider, or making sure everyone is home safe. We're all accepted, and we all come together for one thing, and we all just want to belong. For others, it's kept us out of suicide. I'm just going to be honest, because a lot of people contemplate that. But when you have a place that it doesn't matter of your past or anything, and you can be welcome there, why wouldn't you? There's no other place like that. We drive 3 hours almost every weekend. I'm going to be honest, I started the petition because I feel so strongly that this place is being taken away for what? They don't do anything to break the law. I ask you today with an open heart to see Savage Trails, not just for the trails, but as a community lifeline. We're not just riders, we're a family. And we're ready to work with you to meet whatever conditions are necessary to make Savage Trails a safe and responsible, lasting part of this county. I have words from my 10-year-old son because he could not be here today that he asked me to say. When Savage Trails closed, I was so upset because Savage Trails taught me it's okay to be different and still be accepted as I am. Savage Trails is home. I learned to ride by myself safely, and it's fun to be out here with my mom and my dad, which is his stepdad. He's a part of a Savage family. And I'm just going to be honest, my kid is not one of them kids that can hang out with anybody. He's not. My kid is very different. But when he can come to Savage Trails and makes friends with other kids, and you're a parent, you're like, dang, You know, maybe he's not so different. He needed to be included somewhere. He needed to belong without judgment. I think we're all guilty of judging somebody, but not Savage Trails. Doesn't matter. But I just ask, just please consider, let us come home. Just open it back up and let us have our home back. Thank you.
Megan Snellgrove.
You look like your daddy.
Yeah.
You do. I see you and I see Harry. So you look like your daddy.
Where you see Harry?
Right there. Same head, all that. I see Harry. I have a lot of good memories of your daddy. He's a great man. He's a good man to be friends with. And I'm here today to tell you what Savage Trails means to me and my family. It's not just an ATV park, y'all. This is a place that has brought peace and sanity to a lot of people. You know, I suffer from depression and high anxiety. My favorite place to go as soon as I got off work was the Savage Trails, because there is no judgment, as Alexis said. Everybody's accepted. We're out in nature. We're in peace. There's no judgment. There's no having to worry if you belong, because you already did, because you were with family. You were with friends. You know, it's a place where my children have grown up. We were there at the beginning. I was there when Keith talked about it on his back porch about wanting to build a safe place to get four-wheelers and side-by-sides off the county roads, into the woods, you know, for families to ride, to be safe. I was there when he talked about it. That was his dream. And he made it happen. My kids grew up there. We started picking up sticks there. My daughter's met her fiance there, and they're getting married in a year. You know, and it's my comfort on my hardest days. When life gets heavy, and it gets really heavy a lot of times, it is where I want to be. It brings a smile to my face. And it's given me, like I said, friends who've become family. And that's something you can't take for granted, because it's very, very important. You know, I grew up in a small town called Jess, about an hour and a half from here. My grandpapa had over 100 acres of land. And to know that, you know, the county can take away your rights with a simple amendment is heartbreaking, because he taught me responsibility for your land. He taught me that land was something to be respected, cared for, and to be used responsibly. And I used his land to ride horses, to teach others to ride horses. And yes, I collected money for that. But I'll tell you, Savage Trails, since Mr. Pope wanted to mention that we collect money for a commercial purpose, we're a business. We have a business license. So if we're not legal, how come we've had business license issued to us by Bulloch County for the past 4 years? Amen. You know, Savage is just the place that responsible landowners, they built something that people can enjoy and safely. We all see the four-wheeler wrecks. We all hear about them. We all hear about the children who've been hurt. We all heard about Georgia Kate. We raised money for Georgia Kate. We helped that family. We didn't have to, but we did. But she wasn't hurt on our property. Kids haven't been hurt on our property. They've been protected. They've been safe. We don't have to worry about that out there. But now I do, because I can't ride out there, because I've been told we can't ride on the land because it's not zoned properly, even though it's Ag 5. We can't touch that land. We can only touch 13 acres that's zoned general commercial. So we can have all the land that we want, but because one man said it's not zoned and won't issue a conditional use permit, we can't enjoy our land or our peace or our sanity. All we ask is that Amendment 1453 be amended and allowed us to be grandfathered in. Come sit down with us. Come see what we're about. Come listen to us. Meet with us. Mud parks get a bad rep, but we're not about that. We're about something stronger. We're about something different. We're something good for the community. I know the gas station up the road from us was really upset when we were shut down because our guests buy gas, pizza, Baldino's from his store. Taco Depot in Pembroke, they deliver out to us because that's what family does, and they're part of our family.
Excuse me.
How can we not be recognized as a business if we've been issued a business license? That's what I'm really questioning right now, because we were told that we weren't legal.
Well, it's really not a business license, it's an occupational tax certificate.
You took my money for
But
it.
James, yeah, it's a tax.
You
Was that
issued
for
us
the
a
RV
license.
park? And, because there is a legal use on 13 acres, is the RV park and campground. What
The
was
rest was
not,
only supposed to be zoned Ag 5,
ma'am?
which was allowed when we were formed.
No, it was not.
Yes,
You'd had
sir,
to
it was.
No, ma'am, you had to get a conditional use for that.
Not then.
Okay,
Yes, you
so we're
did.
not gonna sit
Yes, you
here and
did.
argue about this up here.
But to some, it might just be a mud park, and we know, may just be some rednecks who like to ride our loud buggies. But we're family, and we want to fight for our sanity, and for our family, and our friends, and for the future. We bring something of value to this county, and to shut us down, it's not something you would want to do. Y'all need us, and we need Bulloch County. Thank you.
Nathan Field. No. Okay. And Justin Strickland. We had you on this one also, public comments. And then Justin Strickland.
Are you
Did
sure?
Need to speak again? We're good? All right. That's it.
All right. Next up, we have our consent agenda. I'm going to go ahead and I'll read through these items and we'll discuss what we can do with them at the end. Number one, approve the minutes from Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. Number two, approve the executive session minutes from Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. Number three, approve the purchase of a breathing air compressor from B&T Enterprises LLC in the amount of $112,548. Number four, approve the purchase of Bullard thermal imaging cameras from Profire and Tactical LLC in the amount of $34,200. Number five, approve the purchase of Hearst Rescue Tools from MES in the amount of $99,509.42. Number six, approve the renewal of the longleaf pine straw contract from Brian T. Powell Enterprises Incorporated, Statesboro Southern Landscapes Incorporated, in the amount of $23,270. Number seven, approve a resolution authorizing acceptance of roads in Hamilton Landing subdivision. Number eight, approve a resolution to establish a special streetlight district for Phase 6 of River Bluff subdivision. Number nine, approve a resolution to establish a special streetlight district for Phase 2 of the Rexford subdivision. Number 10, approve a resolution to establish a special streetlight district for Arcadia at Lots Creek subdivision. Number 11, approve a purchase in the amount of $58,696.06 for HVAC systems from JD Heating and Air for the new office building for the Crime Suppression Division of the Sheriff's Office on Randy Lowry Road. We can approve these items collectively, or we can move them into new business for further discussion. What would y'all like to do tonight?
I'd just like to pull number 3 out, please.
Number 3 to new business. Anything else? So without accepting the change for number 3 to move to new business, do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda as it is?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. Moving on to new business. And so I don't forget it, let's just go ahead and we'll do item number 3 in the consent agenda first thing. Approve the purchase of a breathing air compressor from B&T Enterprises in the amount of $112,548. This is the fire gentleman. I was going to say the fire boys, but y'all are not boys.
I like it. Southern Gentleman.
All right, thank you for allowing us to come up. I'll turn it over to Training Chief Sykes. But this is to buy breathing air compressors. When we say breathing air compressors, these are the compressors. It compresses the air down so we can fill our air bottles after a structure fire or training or a car fire or any of these other calls we may go to. So we're just asking for,
This is actually for 2 machines.
yeah, 2 machines.
It says there's 3 compressors around the county. Is that Bulloch County's compressors, or do we get them refilled by somebody else, or who does them now?
So we have 3 throughout the county. They do belong to us.
Okay.
Okay, we purchased them 2 years ago.
Okay, so we're just adding to it, because in the detail, I wasn't sure if it looked like y'all went to a business to fill them up, or if we're just adding to the fleet.
No, when we
That's what
get
I'm
them,
trying to figure.
they do it all in-house. We have to have them annually tested.
Okay.
Make sure, not pulling in all the noxious gases.
Yeah, no, I understand. I was just trying to understand the
Yeah, they pump
description
and
part of
generate
it.
air.
Yeah.
And
So
then store
I
it
didn't
in
know they
tanks.
were in-house, or if we paid somebody to fill them up.
No,
now, so.
once there are, is only things we'll have to pay for is the annual test that's required for us to operate them, and then any maintenance issues that may come up.
Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Nothing else?
Okay.
All right.
Any
Thank
other
y'all.
questions or discussion on this item? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a motion. Do I have, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Next up, Planning and Development Director James Pope authorized the county manager to execute a contract for consulting services for an impact fee program with Hatley Plans LLC in the amount of $85,760. Services will include preparation of an impact fee methodology report, capital improvements element, final impact fee schedule, and ordinance for commission approval, assistance with program implementation, etc. Mr. Pope, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Thank you again for the opportunity to present this item tonight. Early on, earlier this year, going through the budget process, it was really described to me that an impact fee is something that the county wanted to look into. So we included it in our budget that was approved in July. What this item or plan, the consulting services would perform is everything to comply with the Georgia Development Impact Fee Act, which was from 1990. Really, to charge an impact fee, there's a methodology report that has to be created. You have an amendment to the comprehensive plan for capital improvements. You'd have to develop an impact fee ordinance, impact fee schedule, and then you got to figure out how to implement all that in the office and how to, calculate the impact fees for commercial and residential uses. So this contract will allow us to consult with Hatley Plans LLC, which is Paige Hatley, and Bill Ross, he, I don't know, more or less one of the early guys in the 90s that produced probably a majority of impact fees in Georgia, because he was probably one of the few practitioners of that. So Paige Hatley and Mr. Ross will be working on this methodology report all the way to the implementation phase of impact fees. Specifically, procurement for this was performed where we issued an RFP on August 11th. We had 4 vendors submit. 3 of those were found to be responsive. 1 got a hang up. And so of the 3, we advanced to staff review and scoring. Hatley Plans ranked the highest, and I included the score sheet for your review, but ranked the highest among the 3 we had very good interest by the consultants to look into this. That was one thing I was concerned about. There's not many in Georgia that perform impact fee analysis and methodology reports. So with that and following our procurement guidelines, I recommend that we approve the contract for consulting services in the amount stated, $85,760, not to exceed.
And just to clarify, we had budgeted how much for this?
We budgeted $100,000, which, looking at other communities, that seemed to be an appropriate amount, and given the number of services that we're going to look at, quite a few minus water and sewer, we did pretty good, and so.
Is 10 months of the time that we implement it, or is that about how long it's going to take to get the study back, but then we implement from there?
Well, my intention would be that we'd give a notice to proceed pretty much as soon as possible, and the schedule anticipates, again, approximately 10 months from the project kickoff. So, I would say, give me 2 weeks and we'll have that project kickoff scheduled and underway. But we'll have to create an advisory committee, which the Development Impact Fee Act tells you what the statutory requirements of that committee has to be. There has to be some developers or from the development community on that committee. So Ms. Hatley will help guide us in, selecting those that, represent the community. And as we know, the community knows best, right? So input from y'all and myself, so. But yes, 10 months is the goal. And from what I've seen, that's about the normal. And that's what we really budgeted on time, so. Yeah.
Any other questions on this item? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a motion.
To approve, Mr. Chairman.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr. Jeff Akins, approve an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Brooklet for the renovation and improvement of recreation facilities.
Yes, sir. Pursuant to the service delivery agreement, the county provides recreation services countywide, including within the municipalities. However, the city of Brooklet included $290,000 in its 2019 SPLOST allocation for recreational facilities or equipment in order to provide a higher level of service to its citizens. And they, I think, approached us, Dee can maybe elaborate on this, about doing some improvements to their park. And the presented intergovernmental agreement facilitates those renovations and improvements using Brooklet's SPLOST funds. So pursuant to the agreement, Brooklet will transfer its $290,000 in recreation SPLOST funds to the county. The county will then undertake the renovations and improvements set forth in the agreement. If the cost of the improvements is less than $290,000, we will refund the balance to Brooklet and they will reallocate it to other SPLOST projects. If it's more, then the county will pay the balance or the excess out of its recreational SPLOST funds. And Brooklet, one other point that it has, it provides that Brooklet agrees to allow the county to continue using its property for recreation purposes for 50 years, and the county is likewise obligated to continue using it for 50 years. That's the maximum term on an intergovernmental agreement, unless the agreement is otherwise modified. And part of the property that we're improving, the county owns. The soccer field area is owned by the county. Now, and Brooklet approved the agreement at its September 18th meeting. So we would recommend approval. And I don't know if Director Cosby has anything he would like to add.
Again, good evening. Appreciate it, Mr. Jeff. The city of Brooklet approached us. This was probably about 3-4 months ago about them. They found that they had $290,000. And so when you say you found a little bit, we kind of jumped to it. What we're going to do with these funds is we're going to add a walking trail around our soccer fields. We're going to expand and kind of redo the pavilion that we have right there at the playground area. It's going to be a little bit bigger, add probably about 30 more people that are able to get in that pavilion, update the bathrooms. We're going to hopefully be able to do a little drainage work that we're looking to do on the fields with some of these funds that we're able to get from these guys here. I think some of you guys may have been down to Brooklyn, seeing what we're doing with the tennis courts. So we're going to try to just do a little updating right now with these funds. We're very appreciative from the city of Brooklyn for them finding these funds and working with us to where we can make some of these adjustments and improvements to the Brooklyn area down there and their rec facilities. And especially with this agreement, knowing that with this agreement, we, as far as the county, we don't own anything except for Mill Creek, our soccer fields, Portal, and Fletcher is the only thing that we truly own as far as recreation. So being able to get this signed and this agreement will make sure that we do have a place there in Brooklyn to continue providing the service for those kids down in that area. And like I say, happy to entertain any questions or anything you guys may have.
Mr. Davis?
Wasn't the land that the county owns in Brooklyn donated by the Jones family?
Part of it was, but there was from my understanding, some of that was, and that's one of the agreements was, part of that was to get that walking trail. So some of that, and from my understanding, there was a little purchase, but a lot of that was signed over by that family right over for that soccer fields.
But the walking path will, once we build it, will complete the obligation we.
Correct.
To donate.
That was part of it. That was part of it with them signing over that they wanted the walking trail.
How long ago was that?
Oh, was that 8 years? 8-9 years?
I think it was done when I was on the rec board, and I think I got off in
2013 in there somewhere.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a motion on this item.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
I have, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Ron Nelson. Motion to approve a contract with Reeves Construction Company in the amount of $3,125,604.89 to administer performance of the work associated with FY 26-CP-E05 Bulloch County Road Resurfacing Project. The cost of this work will be funded using a combination of LMIG and T-SPLOST funds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, good evening. Come to you tonight to discuss this resurfacing package. A few of the highlights: the Bulloch County Engineering Office, in cooperation with the Bulloch County Procurement Manager, prepared a notice of solicitation invitation to bid. That bid went out looking for bids for approximately 15.14 miles of resurfacing. We also had an add alternate feature in this ITB package of 1.47 miles of asphalt resurfacing, earth shoulder building, and roadway striping along Brooklet-Denmark Road. We did release this notice of solicitation on September the 4th, 2025, and we received two bids on September the 18th. Those two bids are as follows: McClendon Enterprises, total bid, including the add alternate, $3,233,387.65. Reeves Construction Company, total bid, $3,125,604.89. The Bulloch County Engineering Office recommends acceptance of the low bid from Reeves Construction Company in the amount of $3,125,604.89. And I stand before you to answer any questions.
Who's got questions?
Mr. Chairman, what is LMIG? Local Maintenance Improvement Grant money that comes directly from the Georgia Department of Transportation. And that money requires a match. So we've got a formula of about 30% match from our T-SPLOST funds. But this will be a combination, so it's not going to be exactly 30%, I do not believe.
Yeah, we put in more than 30% just to be able to do more resurfacing.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a motion on this item.
Motion to approve the contract.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Nelson, you're still up at bat here. Motion to approve task order FY 26 ROW-EO5 in the amount of $217,275 to provide right-of-way acquisition services along Grimshaw Road and Grimshaw Lane, which is in conjunction with FY 25-CP-EO5. Oh, did I? Oh. Let me try this again. Motion to approve a contract with Sims Paving Construction LLC in the amount of $313,089.30 to administer performance of the work accepted with FY 26-CP-EO6 Register Fire Station Number 3, new paved driveways and new paved parking facility project. The cost of this work will be funded by T-SPLOST.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Once again here, we've got the Bulloch County Engineering Office in cooperation with the Bulloch County Procurement Manager prepared a notice of solicitation invitation to bid on this project. It was released on September the 4th, 2025, and we had bids come in on September the 18th, 2025. The bids we received are as follows. J.A. Long Incorporated, $578,813.73. Sims Paving and Construction LLC, $313,829.30. Underground Excavating Incorporated, $347,538.90. Bulloch County Engineering Office recommends acceptance of the low bid from Sims Paving and Construction in the amount of $313,829.30 to administer the performance of this work at the Register Fire Station Number 3 for new paved driveways and new paved parking facility. Cost of this work will be funded by T-SPLOST. Stand before you for any questions.
I got a question. I guess it's going to be more for maybe Mr. Jeff or Ms. Christie. This is coming out of T-SPLOST. Can we do parking lots for T-SPLOST? Because I'm looked through the referendum that they voted on, I guess in 21 or 22, and there's no mention of parking lots in T-SPLOST.
Yeah, I think it's included under the definition of roads, yeah. If you look in the SPLOST law, I think
Parking lots
would
is
be
considered a road, because I mean, it's got very detailed, but there's nothing in there at all that said anything about parking lots.
I'll verify that, but I think sidewalks and parking lots.
Yeah, I mean, it says sidewalks on here, bridges, bicycle paths, I mean, all that stuff, but it does not include the parking lot term, so that's why I'm kind of concerned on that.
I think that within the definition of the law, that's probably included, so, yeah. I'll double check it, but I think it's fine. I mean, if y'all can go ahead and approve it tonight, and then if for some reason we feel like we can't fund it with T-SPLOST, we'll find some other way to fund it. But I think it's a project that's got to be done, doesn't it, Ron?
Yes, sir.
I'm not doubting it doesn't need to be done. I just need to make sure that I'm not about to
Right.
cross the law here.
I think we're okay on it, but I'll double check.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Hear none? Y'all give me a motion.
Motion to approve
Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay. Motion carries 4-1. County Engineer Ron Nelson, motion to approve task order FY 26 ROW-E06 in the amount of $133,650 to provide right-of-way acquisition services. Man, look, we're gonna get through them all one way or another. Let me back up again. I'm on number 5, according to Venus here. So motion to approve task order FY 26 ROW-E05 in the amount of $275 to provide right-of-way acquisition services along Grimshaw Road and Grimshaw Lane, which is in conjunction with FY 25-CP-E05 roadway design batch 1. This work will be funded by T-Splost. And I saw Mr. Davis slipping away up there. You have something you want to declare to the board?
Mr. Atkins suggested I excuse myself, being I own man on Place Road.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is continuing our ongoing relationship with Johnson, Memoram, and Thompson, JMT. On this particular project, this is associated with our Batch 1 roads, the Grimshaw Road and Grimshaw Lane. There are 46 parcels in total on these 2 locations. These will be right-of-way acquisition services. This is in compliance with our ongoing master agreement that was approved by the Board of Commissioners on April the 1st, 2025 for right-of-way services with JMT. This particular item here, we are requesting from the Bulloch County Engineering Office to approve JMT's proposed task order for $217,275 to provide right-of-way acquisition services that include 46 parcels along Grimshaw Road and Grimshaw Lane. The cost for this work will be funded by T-Splost.
Who's got questions?
I know this isn't our first time that we've done with this company. Have they been able to proceed along with the other jobs that they're doing? Have we had any issues with them or anything? Are they fulfilling their end of the job?
No, sir, we've had very good results. As of today, we are actually moving through the final few parcels along Hightower Road and Josh Smith Road. Had, I believe, 4 closings today. We're down to just a few items that our county attorney will move through regarding potential condemnations. He'll take care of that. But we've had very good success since April with JMT services.
Just want to make sure they were producing.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions or concerns on this item? Hearing none, my call for a motion. Do I have a second? All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. We're on number 6, right? Okay. County Engineer Ron Nelson, motion to approve task order FY 26 ROW-E06 in the amount of $133,650 to provide right-of-way acquisition services affecting 28 parcels along Prather Road, which is in conjunction with FY 25-CP-E05 roadway design batch. This work will be funded by T-Splost.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this one again, same overarching road design, batch 1. Kimley Horn providing those design services. We've reached a point we can actually go through and take care of right-of-way acquisition. Like was previously stated, 28 parcels along Prather Road. The Bulloch County Engineering Office recommends approval of JMT's proposed task order for $133,650 to provide right-of-way acquisition services along Prather Road. Cost for this work will be funded by T-Splost. Yes, sir.
Did I recuse myself on the wrong motion?
I'll yield to the county attorney on that question.
Well, is this Prather Road?
Yes, sir, it is.
You may have, yeah, this is the one I guess you need to recuse on, yeah.
That was Grimshaw. This is Prather.
I
excuse myself. Is that permissible on something? Well, I would say that it was just an innocent, honest mistake. So, and it passed. Your vote wouldn't have made any difference in the outcome, so I wouldn't go back.
And just to clarify for the record, Mr. Davis, you are recusing yourself because you own property along this road. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments on this item? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. All right, number 7, motion to approve task order FY 26 ROW-E07 in the amount of $105,450 to provide right-of-way acquisition services affecting 25 parcels along Floyd Clark Road, Deer Run Lane, and Deer Run Court, which is in conjunction with FY 25-CP-E05 roadway design batch 1. This work will be funded by T-Splost.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So once again, this is in order with our Batch 1 roads being designed by Kimley Horn. We've reached the point in the design phase to begin the right-of-way acquisition. We do have 25 parcels that will need to be acquired along Floyd Clark Road, Deer Run Lane, and Deer Run Court. The engineering office recommends approval of JMT's proposed task order for $105,450 provide right-of-way services along Floyd Clark Road, Deer Run Lane, and Deer Run Court. The cost for this work will be funded by T-Splost. Any questions?
Questions, comments? Okay, hearing none. Call for a motion on this item.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. All right, Ron, last one. Motion to approve change order 2 with EMC Engineering on FY 23-CP-E02 roadway design for Moore Road, Lee Road, and J.A. Hart Road in the amount of $18,479 and increasing the not-to-exceed amount to $136,841. This change of order to the contract will be funded by T-Splost.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this one right here, the short version of it is we had to make several changes within the plans and within the right-of-way plat to better communicate with the actual property owners. I worked with JMT to come up with a better way to develop our plans from a communication standpoint so we can actually go out and meet with these individual property owners and hopefully achieve what we're looking for, which is right-of-way acquisition. These services here that were provided by EMC were directly requested by myself to make those adjustments on plans and right-of-way plats that had previously been approved by other folks within the county. And I just felt like it was the best way to try to move through to try to get a better communication with our property owners on these 3 roads. So it would ease in communication and give us a better result.
Is this for all 3 roads? I know it's grouped together, but is issues with all 3 roads that you're having troubles with?
There were changes along Moore Road, Lee Road, and J.A. Hart that had to be addressed that were not previously on the approved plats. And primarily those were driveways that were added. They were easements, slopes that had to be constructed that need to be represented on the plans so we can actually have good communication with those property owners and they know exactly what they're signing so we can move along through the right-of-way acquisition process.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a motion.
To approve, Mr. Chairman.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Thank you.
Sure you do, Tom?
Yes, sir. Quite. Thank you, sir.
All right, number 9, Public Works Director Dink Butler and Assistant Public Works Director Robert Siemens. Approval of proposed consent order for Gateway Pond House Mine, permit number GAG 100035.
Good evening, Commissioners. Nick Butler, Public Works Director for Bulloch County. This issue came up. We had contacted the initial engineering firm that had applied for the permits originally from the Pond House surface mining pit. And we had contacted them in reference to renewing this permit. And in that process between contacting them, they're making the application, the time lapse of the 180 days ran out. So we ended up being late with the application. So there's a $250 fee and the chairman's request for the chairman to sign the order for us to renew that permit.
Questions or comments?
So we'll be good to go as soon as we sign this paperwork and send it back in. They'll give us the permit, no issue.
Yeah, it'll be reissued, yes.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'm gonna call for a motion.
Motion to approve.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank y'all.
Okay, that concludes our new business for tonight. Are there any comments from the staff? Y'all all talked out. Okay. Any comments from the commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask the fellow commissioners all that we keep past Commissioner Kirkfield and his family in prayer. His son and his wife had surgery today. She's been on a kidney list to receive a kidney, so just keep that family in prayer. As not only that family, but a lot of families in Bulloch County, and so just lift up everyone, our brothers and sisters.
Amen. Thank you. Any other commissioner comments?
I'd just like to say welcome to the new county manager, and we're looking forward to working with you.
Me too. I'd like to welcome you. Me and him, we had a good time yesterday.
Anybody else?
I'd like to elaborate on Mr. Ray. I talked to Kurt 2 nights ago, probably, late one evening, and they had found a donor, and they were proceeding forward with it. That's something that family's fought through thick and thin and dealt with county business and was a professional man about it. Sometimes the Lord works in mysterious ways, and they got a lot of benefit by moving up where to Greene County, I think, something like that. So, it's a lot of things happening. So, he's working in mysterious ways, and like I said, just please keep him in their prayer. They have fought this for years on end, and she's the sweetest lady you'll ever meet. So, like I said, y'all, please keep him in your prayers.
Any other comments? I got 2 events I just want to remind everybody about. The first one, on Saturday, the 11th, out at the Statesboro Airport, they're going to have the Thrill the First Flight. This is to try to engage young people and stimulate an interest in aviation and aviation careers. If you're interested, get with me and I'll share the information with you. The other thing that I'd like to remind folks about, like was brought up earlier, the 4th of November is Election Day. But something that is very important is the county has the FLOST, which is the local option sales tax that is used to, by state mandate, to directly offset property taxes, will be on the ballot. The people will have a referendum on this. They'll have the opportunity to make their voice known on this. And the intent of this is to offset your property taxes. The way the fund is set up is that all the money that is collected from that sales tax, if it passes, will start to be collected in January of 2026. That fund has to have all the money collected into it for a year before any of it can be dispersed to the county or the other municipalities in the county to offset property taxes. But you're looking at July of 2027. Is that correct? 27. July 1st, 2027, that money would be dispersed. and be used to directly offset property taxes dollar for dollar. So I encourage you again, voting is something that is important to me. There's been a lot of folks that have shed blood and tears, lost their lives so that we would have that opportunity to vote, and I encourage you to go out and exercise your right to do that on the 4th of November. Any other questions or comments from the staff or commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, there's one other thing. Ms. Diane Allison, which Mr. Nelson is very familiar with because he's had a conversation with, she lives at Carlton Lane or off of Carlton Lane, which is on the Bulloch County, Jenkins County line. She has expressed some interest in what can the county do to maintain her road. It's a tricky situation. I mainly mention it tonight because that's something I feel like that Mr. Nelson and Mr. Akins may can work through, but she's called me on a number of occasions, and I think sometimes she thinks we're not looking into the matter. Mr. Nelson, would you like to elaborate on that a little bit? And because I told her we were addressing the situation, but our hands are sort of tired without Jenkins County being involved. And I did go to Jenkins County Board of Commissioner meeting last month, and I don't think we got any resolve yet, so thank you.
So my conversations have been with Ms. Allison is she lives in that somewhat of a no man's land where she has to go into Jenkins County just a mile or so just to actually turn in and then move down Carlton Road to get to Carlton Lane, which goes back into Bulloch County. So it's somewhat of a slight anomaly scenario. We do know who actually owns the road. Tax office is fully aware of it. But and I've contacted Jenkins County and got similar response from what Commissioner Mosley expressed, that they were not interested because there was nothing in it for Jenkins County, so to speak. But I believe that's probably the correct thing to do, is have more conversation with the county attorney.
Yeah, I think we'd probably need an intergovernmental agreement with Jenkins County if we're going to maintain part of a road that's in Jenkins County. But the threshold question is if y'all want to accept the right-of-way and maintain it. Yeah, I don't even know what kind of road. Is it an unpaved road or is
No,
it
sir, it's a paved road. It's a paved road.
Is it in bad condition, or why does she
No, sir,
want?
it's in good condition.
What's motivating her to want the county to?
Similarly to most folks who want to just have it maintained, so peace of mind, so that she knows that the road's taken care of. At this point, the owner is basically saying he's not going to do anything to offset the repair needs.
Who do you think the owner is?
I believe it's, I don't know, I have to go back and make absolutely sure. I don't want to misstate the name, but I know we've actually tracked it down.
Okay. Well, I mean, we could do it, I think, but I think we'd need an intergovernmental agreement with Jenkins County, because if we're going to be maintaining something that's in Jenkins County.
Well, her request is just to
Really be their
maintain,
responsibility.
her request was to maintain the portion in Bulloch County. So it's, you have to actually leave Jenkins, we have to leave Bulloch going into Jenkins on 25, US 25, moving towards Millen, and you turn off on Carlton Road, and then you turn directly back south to go onto Carlton Lane. So she's in it's in a cul-de-sac
Why don't we look
area.
at it? I need a diagram.
Understood, understood.
Not completely following that.
So we'll do some further study on this and see what we need to do from there. So,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just think that she's been a little frustrated with me, especially because I think she feels like I haven't been addressed, but this is a unique situation I didn't know what the answer was, and I've consulted with Mr. Nelson, so we've tried to work through it, so thank you.
and I'll say that, you know, it's the cut and dry stuff is easy to do. That's why we're here, is to deal with these unique situations and try to come up with a solution that works for everybody there. So we'll continue to study that and try to come up with something here the next 30 days or so.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know what the situation was, but everybody needs to congratulate Mr. Dow Kennedy. He found a girl at the ball game and taught her in the marrying. He fooled her in the marrying about a week ago. So
My coverage.
I didn't even know he was hunting, but he found.
Congratulations to you. Condolences to the missus there. Okay, so I think that wraps it up for the night. Chief Tapley.
I wanted to extend it a little longer. Dow, how could you not remind me? It's Fire Prevention Week. Ben Tapley, Bulloch County Fire Chief. I almost let it get by me, but this week is Fire Prevention Week. And let me tell you the exact theme for this Fire Prevention Week. Charge into fire safety, lithium-ion batteries in your home. So I sent something to Dow, was it Monday, yesterday, and he shared it. And I guess the most important thing is we know how dangerous some of these lithium-ion batteries can be if you overcharge them or if they get damaged. So it's just get our eyeballs focused on what we need to do with these lithium-ion batteries. The problem with any type of new technology, they're quick to roll it out, but they don't tell you how to deal with some of the situations. And we're dealing with that in the fire service now, trying to figure out, especially with the EV cars, how to put out a car fire that has an EV battery. I think the most drastic things now is they dump it in a lake or an ocean right now and they watch it burn underwater for the next few months. There's no easy way to put it out. But in your home, let's just say we need to dispose of them properly. And I had some person ask me today, how do I do that? Well, you can go online and look where can I dispose of. I did it a few months ago. I just did it now back there just to double check. At Lowe's, it does say is a drop-off point for your lithium-ion batteries. We just got to be real careful about throwing them in dumpsters or the trash or whatever, right? Yeah, don't want to do that. But just be fire safe. I say it in any Facebook post I put out there. Try to be fire safe, Bulloch County. So just remind everybody this is Fire Prevention Week, and we'll continue to throw some things out on Facebook this week. Just remind everybody. Thank you.
You also have an ISO survey going on this week, is that correct?
Well, I emailed Tillman, Mr. Director Tillman, is that right now? Director Tillman, yesterday. Miss Pam had a death in the family Monday, so she was unable to come today. So we have moved it to the 28th at her convenience. So be in prayer for her family and lost her mother-in-law. So, yep, we'll be doing that the 28th. And I talked with the another update. I talked with the representative from Fouts Brothers. We ordered a pumper tanker. They said February, and he said they had the chassis on site and hopefully start building it. And they're thinking maybe into December for that. So that's always a plus when it comes in early. But I don't bank on that. I was just, maybe we just need to say it'll be here in February.
Okay.
But thank you for your support.
So I must now call for a motion to adjourn into executive session in accordance with the provisions of OCGA 50-14-2-1 and other applicable laws pursuant to the advice of County Attorney Jeff Akins for the purpose of discussing pending litigation. There will be no further action taken after this executive session.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. We'll move into executive session. Thank you all for coming out.